and it's a single let at 850 per calendar month. Now, with that single let at 850, I may do serviced accommodation, but I thought that was a great return for such an inexpensive property, really. So the residential apartments will all be worth in and around 110k each. Again, good price for Belfast. My second deal I found by talking to my neighbour who's 87. We were doing a crossword together in her front garden, and she told me a house is empty. So I put a note through the door on Sunday, and by Thursday, the house was still agreed to me.
So please put your hands together and help me welcome the first of our top performers, Carly Anderson.
Hello everybody, Carly here to entertain for the next 10 minutes. So my name's Carly Anderson. I've started off because back in the day I was a civil servant in asylum and immigration. I was there for a long 17 years. I know I don't like it, but it's true. I am based in Belfast, beautiful Belfast, Northern Ireland, which is actually a really great place to invest at the minute. It's cheaper prices than over here in England, and also great rental returns. So I'm going to rewind you back 5 years ago. I wanted to build my dream home. So this was my first reason why. I wanted the Kardashian style mansion. I wanted the pantry. I wanted the walk-in wardrobe, the swimming pool. But I was living in a 3-bed semi, and I didn't have enough money to do all that. So what was I going to do? Sold my own home to buy 2 investment properties. I remember at the time I had kind of dipped my toe into Simon Zutshi's world, and I was doing a deal sourcing masterclass, and I said to him at the table, I don't know if you remember this, that I sold my own home to buy these 2 investment properties, and he said I was very brave, and it was something that will always stay with me. I had 0 property experience, and I just had to get started. But around this time was a pretty bad time for me. I had just had an ectopic pregnancy and a miscarriage, lost 2 babies. I was also going through a divorce. I was in a job that I was bored to death with, really, and it was just quite a bad time. I didn't know if I was going to have to sell my home. It was dark, and it wasn't a great time for me, but I knew that things had to get better. And also, there's always been a little thing in the back of my mind that I was made for more than this. Is made for more than just going to work in the dark and defrosting the car at like 9 o'clock and coming back at 5 and sitting, watching TV or whatever. There's more. There's got to be more to life. So with all that going on, we'll park it. I thought, right, I got to get up off my backside and get started. So I sold my own home, which is a 3-bed semi in Belfast. And I meant to buy 1 investment property, so I meant to buy an apartment. I bought it, and the very same week that I got the keys, the other one that I was bidding on, I was told that I got it as well. So I ended up with 2 investment properties, 0 property experience, and I just had to get started. I had no tradesmen, I had no experience, I had absolutely nothing. I just had to get going. Suffice to say, those first 2 properties in like 6 months made me 100,000 when I flipped them and sold them, and that's what Flipping Belfast was born. So from then until now, I had flipped 6 properties. It's a bit more now, and I had set myself up as Flipping Belfast. And somebody's telling me about deal sourcing. So the journey from me finishing these properties, I thought, I'm really interested in this. I was working full time as well, and I thought, you know what, actually I'd like to do a bit more, and the journey has evolved. So what I wanted to do was build a portfolio, and as I said before, I'd done a little bit of property training, so I knew that Mastermind would get me to the next level. And also that I wouldn't have to flip if I didn't want to, or there was maybe a situation in the current climate that I couldn't flip. So, strategy-wise, everybody's like really focused on what strategy you're going for. I was kind of open because I had a bit of like background in property with the houses, and thought, well, you know what, my strategy depends on what I come across, because I had seen properties that some would work for flips, some would work for rentals, and some would work for like serviced accommodation. So I was open-minded at the start with what I went. Saying that, my first one was a flip. So I bought this in October when we just started. Sorry, it was a 3-bed semi, and I was very much in the mindset back then that, oh, you know, I need to keep doing the flips, and this will make me the money. So I started off with this 3-bed semi, purchased it for 212. It looks really small and miserable there, but it's actually bigger at the back. I added value in the way I knew how, so I did a full refurbishment. I mean, rewire, replaster, replumb, the whole works. Turned it from a 3-bed into a 4-bed with walk-in wardrobe, and I spent £50,000 on it. So I had this refinanced in 8 months for £350,000. So that was an £88,000 add-on within the 8 months. Delighted with this, but back then I was going to flip it, but now I was on Simon Zutshi's Mastermind, so now I was maybe going to hold on to it. So I was able to get a rental on it for £2,000 a month, not with all the work I'd done for it. So yeah, that was case study number 1. There you go, annual profit after fees of 18,500. Case study 2, right? This was an interesting one because my very first flip, the apartment that I spoke about, this was another apartment in the block. It's a little block of 6, and I'm aiming for the whole block now. So the first apartment, I flipped and made 40,000 on once I sold it, but I knew these were in great rental area in Belfast. So I set about buying this. Now I bought 2 of them, I'll show you at the end, but the first apartment I bought on this journey was this one. Again, full refurb, cheap apartments in Belfast, 92.5, that's actually really cheap. It was 97, but I've negotiated it down. My mum was actually the investor for this one because I ran out of money pretty quickly. So mum lent me all the money to go in with this 92.5, and then I found the money myself just to get it renovated. Thanks, Mum. And so full renovation again. This one had the old gas electric storage heaters in it, and it was just miserable, like smoke running down the walls. It wasn't open plan like this. I spent 17,500 on it, refinanced it for 149,000, and it's a single let at 850 per calendar month. Now, with that single let at 850, I may do serviced accommodation, but I thought that was a great return for such an inexpensive property, really. I obviously had the trades team together to get everything done and get everything done quickly. So 650 after fees. Now, second one of this one, and the guys here will all know how quickly this came along. So about 6 weeks ago, I said, I'm not going to flip anymore, meaning that I wasn't going to flip and sell. I was going to renovate and refinance. And my builder, he actually bought this apartment for himself, the second one in the same block. And when I found out, I was like, oh, you knew I wanted that. So he didn't want it anymore because he had found another deal. And he actually, we were able to just send the second one my way, and I got the keys for it yesterday. So that all really happened very, very quickly. So 2 of these in the same block. The other one is actually 1,500 more expensive. So you'll see the numbers at the end, but that's what it was. Okay, now this is a big one for me. So this house was purchased below market value at 248,000. I love this house, I love where it is, and I thought there's massive potential here. Some lessons learned here as well. So planning has been granted for a new dwelling, yes, but planning was not granted first. Planning was refused first of all. I went to an architect who now on reflection maybe didn't know exactly what they were doing, and I've learned lessons from that. Once it was refused, after the expense, I got a new architect and I got planning consultants in, and they designed this beauty, as you can see. Costs and fees for all that were 10,000. My lesson learned. I will not do that again. And with the plans, it's now valued at 400,000, which I could sell, but I don't want to stop there because I want to build this. So the projected costs for building it have risen because of all the rise in prices over the last couple of months to 430. And I am going to fund the actual purchase, which I have done myself, but I'm going to use Crowd Property as the investor this time to fund the development. So GDV, 950,000, which would leave me 262 equity from the house. I haven't really got to the part where what I'm going to do with it at the end, so that's where we are with that. Right, I'll just skip on to future deals. So this one is sale agreed at the minute. It's a commercial mixed-use building. The whole, sorry about the fuzzy picture, but the whole length of that building. It's East Belfast, but very close to the city centre. Purchased for 215,000. These are the deals in Belfast, ladies and gents. Renovation and fees is more than double, 484,000. I'm using private investors, and the private investor that I'm using for this one, he's a stranger. He approached me through my Instagram site. He'd seen what I'd previously done and all the renovations and flips and was really interested. He actually came and offered me like a lot of money a while ago, but I just didn't have anything like this. So he's back, and we have an agreement now that he will fund this. Okay, so the plan is to convert this to 9 residential apartments. While I'm sale agreed, I've already got information from planning to say that I can go ahead with that. So the residential apartments will all be worth in and around 110k each. Again, good price for Belfast. So GDV on it, 999, so we're hitting $1 million, and the equity 300,000 from it. So this kind of deal is one of these, exactly what I was looking for. And 3,000 per calendar month after expenses. So a quick summary of them. First one was the house flip. You can see, I'll not go through everything, you can see it there, but basically we have come out with 2,250,000 at the end, and also then the annual profit is just over 60,000, which is exactly what I set out to do, and actually a bit more. So top tips from flipping Belfast. Mindset, right, it's just continuous work. It doesn't stop. You think once I've done this, then I'll be okay. It never stops. And before you come on Mastermind or come on one of the courses, do some of the work yourself. Read the books, meet people, listen to the YouTube channels and podcasts. Social media. So this was a big one for me. At the start, I was kind of fearful about putting stuff up. What would people think? What's she at? So I didn't for the first 2 flips. And then I did after that. And how quickly that can spread the word about what you're doing is so much better than you can do yourself. Even if you're a chatterbox like me, you can do it faster on social media. So it spread the word, and I have had so many offers from that. I have had TV offers to do like programs. Last Sunday I was on one. I've had investors come to me. I've had people who want to rent my apartments. Yeah, so social media, get it out there as much as you can. Talk to everyone. My second deal I found by talking to my neighbour who's 87. We were doing a crossword together in her front garden, and she told me a house was empty. So I put a note through the door on Sunday, and by Thursday the house was sale agreed to me, off market. So talk to everyone, tell them all what you're doing. Network, get to your PIN meetings. Network with everybody, not even just the estate agents or people in the property field, just anybody you can do. Somebody very kindly did this lovely logo for me through networking and just having a chat and a coffee about what I was at. Get serious, take some action. There's no point in learning all this and doing all the courses and everything if you don't get serious and take some action. That's probably the most important one. Know your area inside and out. So I know Belfast, especially like southeast Belfast, like the back of my hand. Anybody says anything, I can tell you the price it's sold for, the price it's going to sell for, everything. I know everything about it. Try and know your area. Regular goals and rewards. This is really important to me because that's the only thing that's keeping me motivated. So, a goal that I wanted to go to Miami and worked hard for 3 months to get there, to get going, to keep myself going and keep myself motivated. And I think the top goal or top reward for me was investor rewards. So being able to pay the investors back, being able to pay my mum back the money, plus her interest on top, it's just a really good feeling. Okay, so I would like to thank Simon, Andy, Dave, my coach, Rob, my mentor, and just thank everybody in the room really for supporting me, because through this last few months, I've been really sick as well. I've had surgery and personal challenges and things like that, and I just think if I can do it through all that, then anybody else can too. So thank you.
Holly. Thank you, well done, thank you so much. I do hope you got massive value from watching this YouTube video. I'd encourage you to click on the link below to come and do the online training with me. And I've got another video lined up for you, which I think is also going to be really useful, that you should watch once you've registered for the online training with me. So invest with knowledge, invest with skill. I'll see you very soon.